Hey, welcome to the Snap. I'm your host, Mack, and today we're talking about none other than Devonta Smith, Alabama wide receiver prospect, who set the fantasy football world on blaze after his 2020 Heisman winning performance. This guy is truly special. I'm going to try to break down who Devonta Smith is, what he produced for you in college, where we see some massive strengths and some tiny weaknesses in the film room, as well as giving you a verdict on where we think you should draft Devonta Smith in your 2021 rookie drafts. So let's break it down. You probably know a ton about Devonta Smith already, and I'm not going to be able to tell you much that you didn't know, but a couple things that you might not have known about him. One, he started out as a basketball player in high school, and his barber actually convinced him to go the football route and spend all of his time in football. He had a pretty nasty collarbone injury and decided that with the help of his barber that he should pursue football over basketball, which he was so passionate in doing, and quite a ball player, I gotta add. Now, Devonta Smith won the 2020 Heisman Trophy. He also won the 2020 Blitnikoff Award over guys like Kyle Pitts and Elijah Moore, who had great seasons in 2020. But it just shows you the caliber and the season that Devonta Smith had. He also was a first-team All-American. Now, Devonta Smith is a senior wide receiver. He's 22 years of age. He profiles at 6'1", 175 pounds, which is grossly undersized compared to his counterparts, the other wide receivers in this class. And I'm going to break down my thoughts on that in a second. Devonta Smith came back for a senior season, and if you're going to do so, you better ball out. You better make it worth it, because we've seen players in recent memory not go to the draft and come back for a senior season, a la Chuba Hubbard, whose draft stocks have plummeted because of poor seasons. Devonta Smith did the exact opposite. Why did he come back? He came back for two reasons. That's what he'll tell you. One, to continue his education. He wanted to finish his degree, which I respect so much, right? Go back, get that education. That's really what using a scholarship is all about. The second thing is he wanted to get revenge on their early exit in the 2019 college playoffs. He wanted to go back and get that championship, and that's another box checked. But what Devonta Smith won't tell you is that he wanted to go back and up his draft stock. Because in 2019, coming out in the same year as his other two wide receiver counterparts, Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy at the time, Ruggs goes first off the board, Jerry Jeudy not long after. Where does Devonta Smith fall out of that trio? He's probably a late first round, early second round piece. He's probably going in the same range as like a guy like T. Higgins, right? Early, he's the first pick of the second round. He might have gone at the back of the first, right? So Devonta Smith, a year later, after winning the Heisman, is probably a top 10 pick this year. And I might think that's a little crazy. Bringing up some of more of his college stats, year one, year two, learned behind guys like Calvin Ridley, which is great for his game, great for his development. A lot of people thought he should have came to the draft in 2019, but he goes to 2020, he comes back, and he balls out. 147 targets, 117 receptions for 1,856 yards, 23 touchdowns, and a 34.7% target share. And that target share is largely due to the fact that Jalen Waddle, another highly ranked wide receiver in this class, missed the remainder of the season with an ankle injury in week 5. Broke his ankle on the opening kickoff, and that really led to a massive opportunity share for Devonta Smith. We could go all day about what he produced in his senior year, blah, blah, blah. I want to bring up a short split between the 4 games that Jalen Waddle and Devonta Smith played together at the beginning of the season. So going through the first 4 games, you can see that Jalen Waddle really was uber productive. Didn't have a game under 120 yards in his first 4 games. Accounted for 4 of the 12 Alabama touchdowns in that time frame. But so did Devonta Smith. Jalen Waddle ahead of him in total yardage at 557 yards in 4 games to Devonta Smith's 483. My point in bringing this up is I don't think that Devonta Smith wins the Heisman with a healthy Jalen Waddle. I think that Jalen Waddle commands a large target share, and that's certainly what we saw. 26.3% to Devonta Smith's 40% in that smaller sample size. Still a big factor, still a big contributor, and maybe Mac Jones comes away with this Heisman Trophy if he has both of those weapons. I can't say that everything would be filtered through Devonta Smith like it was, but ultimately that led to him having a historic season. The big question I have here at the end of all of this, going through the stats, did Devonta Smith become a better wide receiver in his senior season, or did he take advantage of the opportunity that he was given? And I kind of lean the second half of that question. I really do think that he took advantage of the opportunity. And don't get me wrong, that's something that you should do. Again, if you're coming back for a senior season, grasp every opportunity, increase that draft stock, earn yourself more money at the end of the day. Go get the bag as a professional football prospect. But I don't know if he became a better player. I really think maybe beating up on corners 2 to 3 years less than you, I don't know if that garners elite talent. I just think it's maybe an opportunity that he exploited. When we look at the college dominator in his 2019 season, many thought he's ready. 29.3%, 29.3 college dominator. Most people look to that 30 score threshold. He didn't get there till his senior season, whereas a guy like Jamar Chase amassed that college dominator in his true sophomore season at the age of 19. So it's totally different, I think, between Chase and Smith. His break at age 20.8, which is only 42nd percentile. So there's certainly some concern with his later breakout and the season that he did have, but he's still a fantastic football prospect, which leads us to the film room. There's not really much I can say poor about Devonta Smith. I mean, this is a guy who has a very polished release. His footwork is fantastic, almost reminiscent of a Devontae Adams, where he gets vertical at the line. He sets his feet after like a little hesitation, like a hop, and he sets you up for breaks outside, breaks inside, double moves. Very, very polished in that respect. His route running, his separation is great. Contested catches, great too. I mean, he's got a great set of hands. He high points the ball really well. He's elusive. He can break double coverage. I mean, this guy as a wide receiving prospect can do it all. But his biggest negative is going to be, will those skills translate to the NFL game given how undersized he is? And to give you an idea, people are going to bring up his BMI, which is 23.1. His body mass index is 23.1. Looking over the last 10 years of BMI, rookie draft picks over the last 10 years based on their BMI and their fantasy value, guys that profile under 25.5 as a BMI have only accounted for 5% of the top 24 fantasy production in that time frame. Whereas guys like Jamar Chase's 27.5 to 28 BMI have accounted for 14%. And if you open up that window from 27.5 to 28.5, they account for almost 42% of the draft pick and the total top 24 production. So Devonta Smith at his size is going to have to break historical data. He's going to have to be an outlier, an anomaly in order to be successful. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm just saying it is against the odds for him to do so. That's going to be the biggest thing against Devonta Smith. Am I saying that I'm going to build my total case against Devonta Smith on his BMI? No, because that is grossly it's negligible. It as a fantasy analyst, it's not something. You should never have a one-sided argument. Before we get to the verdict, a player comp. My co-host Landon has a player comp of Calvin Ridley for Devonta Smith, which I think is very fair. I mean, both are Alabama products, both learned under the same system, and they profile to be about the same size and weight, with similar skill sets. I think it's a great comparison. I'm going with Marvin Harrison. And I know what you're thinking, Mac. That is a lofty player comp, Marvin Harrison is an NFL legend. Well, yeah, I get that. He is a guy that relied on his ability to create separation, his speed, his ball skills to be special. And yeah, he had Peyton Manning throwing him the ball. We don't know where Devonta Smith is going to land. It's probably not going to be with a quarterback of that caliber, given his top 10 landing spot, most likely. But Devonta Smith can be special. He does have the ability to overcome his obstacles. We'll see. Marvin Harrison did, and I think maybe with that comparison, I'm going to go with that narrative of Marvin Harrison for Devonta Smith. But when it comes down to the verdict, where do we rank Devonta Smith for 2021 rookie drafts? My co-host Landon has him at 3. My producer Scott has him at 2, and I have Devonta Smith at 5. I have him at 5, and I know what you're thinking. Okay, time to turn the video off. Time to move to the next. This is crazy. Hear me out here. I'm not saying Devonta Smith isn't worth the pick. I'm not saying Devonta Smith isn't worth the ranking of 2 or 3. I'm saying I'm not going to have any Devonta Smith shares in 2021 because I'm not willing to pay the draft capital that it's going to take to get him on my team. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I don't believe that there is a massive difference at the NFL level between a guy like Devonta Smith and a guy like Rashad Bateman or Jalen Waddle or Rondale Moore. I think going to the NFL game, there's certainly some things that Devonta Smith did in college that aren't going to be the same at the NFL level. And so for that reason, given the pick in the beginning of a rookie draft, if I can trade back and get a guy like Rashad Bateman instead, or Terrence Marshall, and get some more draft capital on top of that, I'm going to trade away that Devonta Smith pick. Really, for me, it's Jamar Chase, potential tier break, and then Devonta Smith and the rest. Now, I might be crazy for thinking that, but I don't want to pay the price. I don't want to buy into the hype because I think the hype train with the Heisman and the Blitnikoff has gone too far. That's where I'm going to leave it. I think you should trade back in your rookie drafts. I think you should sell high on the potential of having a Devonta Smith pick to one of your league mates and parlay that value into other players, because I don't think there's going to be a huge difference between Devonta Smith and his counterparts, the top 5 receivers, at the end of year 1 in the NFL. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your takes on Devonta Smith for 2021. Maybe I'm crazy to have him at 5, but that is where he sits for me. Hopefully you guys liked this video. As always, click the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We're going to have tons of rookie videos coming to you next. Potentially Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. We could go the Clemson route. We could talk about Jalen Waddle and Rashad Bateman. The list is endless, so let us know in the comments who you'd like to see next, and we will make that happen. As always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.